Hey guys, Brandon Woolum today hanging out a little outside of Nashville today at the home of William Lee Golden with William Lee and Elijah Golden. How are you guys?
Doing good, Brandon.
Yeah, so last time we talked about a solo, right, that you did. This time we're back here talking about another song that's been in your life for a long time, Elvira. You guys have redone it with the family band, William Lee and the Goldens, coming out July 9th. Talk to us about why this version of Elvira and why now.
Well, why right now is because it's something we did during the pandemic when we were all sent home. All the singers and musicians were sent home and told that we were part of the unessential, to go home and lock your doors, put on 2 masks, and if anybody knocks on your door, crawl under the bed. So I watched all the negative hate on television for 2 or 3 weeks trying to see what was going on with the pandemic. And since we're so unessential that we couldn't get together. And so what we did is I turned off all the negative hate on television, turned the TV off, got the family over here. We started singing old songs. I took them back to where it all started with me. Went back to the songs that my sister and my mother taught me when I was 6 and 7, how to play a rhythm guitar and to sing harmonies. And my sister and I sang as a duet through the years. And so what happened is we sing all these old songs. Some of these songs my grandkids had never heard, but we did 34 songs of old songs and that were essential to us in different parts of our life as we were growing up. Songs that other great singers and songwriters had written, but it inspired us growing up to want to be in music. And so I wanted to share those old songs and get my kids and grandkids to harmonize with me on all these songs. And so, again, we recorded a full gospel album, a classic country album, and more of a country rock album. And that album is the one that I got, the country rock album, the third album we brought to kids and grandkids. And so we got, was thinking about songs that were essential to us. And Elijah had recorded on this project an old classic R&B song, Stand By Me. And he did such an incredible job. I thought then, man, he could sing Elvira and put a whole new twist and feeling to it. I'm not singing with him on this, but Elijah is singing, and my 2 sons, Rusty and Chris, are singing harmonies, and Aaron Lee McCune is singing bass with us. He sang 34 songs with us during the pandemic.
Wow.
Great bass singer.
That bass is an important part of Elvira.
It is. And anyhow, Aaron had filled in with the Oaks before, and I had known him back then when Richard had had to be off the road for a week or 2, and he'd hurt his foot, and Aaron came in and filled in, and we got to know him, and I wanted him to sing with our family. He's a great singer. He has bluegrass and country and gospel background, kind of like I do. And anyhow, I wanted Elijah then to sing Elvira, and I wanted Chris and Rusty to harmonize with him, and to Aaron to sing the bass part. And I sat back and watched it and admired it and enjoyed it, because to me it was me passing down to a second and third generation of family a great song that Dallas Frazier wrote, which was Elvira. Elvira was 16 years old before the Oak Ridge Boys were cut.
Wow.
Dallas Frazier had it on his first album. Charlie Rich had it on his Behind Closed Doors album. And Kenny Rogers in the first edition had it on Something's Burning album. So I've loved the song, but it was Ron Chance's idea for the Oak Ridge Boys to record it. And it was Ron Chance's arrangement and idea for us to let the high parts sing the lead and then the low parts do the step-out lines of Room Papa Mau Mau's.
Yeah.
So I wanted the family to pay homage to a song that had certainly been big in my life and with the Oak Ridge Boys, and still is one of the biggest songs and most requested songs that we have with the Oak Ridge Boys. So that's how I wanted to do this song, and I didn't want to leave it out of the mix. So we got Elijah to sing the lead on it, and my family to do the rest of it, and Aaron Lee McCune to sing the bass parts with us, and so it was one of the fun projects that I've ever done, and I realized that I could, during the pandemic, when I turned off negative hate on television, I wound up starting and finishing 5 major projects, 3 albums with my family, an album with the Oak Ridge Boys, and an autobiography book on top of that. So anyhow, I feel good about what I did during the pandemic rather than sit around and do nothing.
Yeah. Elijah, when he comes to you with this idea of doing this song that's been such a major part of your family, even before you were here, really, the song's been out there for years and years and years. Was there pressure or was there excitement for this one?
A little bit of both. It is a great honor and a great privilege to be able to sing that song, given its history and what we've done with the album and everything. It's, there's a little bit of pressure, but mostly I was excited to, sing the song with Dad and Rusty and everybody and Aaron. And, it's one of those things that on stage, it's always fun. It's one of those songs that gets everybody standing up with their hands clapping. It really captures what it is about what we do that, makes me really happy, is being able to put a smile on somebody's face, get somebody dancing. And one of the best ways to do that is with these old songs that they've grown up listening to,
Yeah.
And Elvira, when the Oaks cut it, it was already a song, it was already always a nostalgic song too. It was a doo-wop era rhythm section. And we altered a little bit of the beat in order to have more of a swampy kind of little big town-esque kind of groove to it. And I think that sort of channels a similar nostalgia, but it takes it in a new direction. And it's just such an honor to be a part of that,
Yeah, we're going to hear this version on July 9th. You talked about the other 3 albums you guys cut a few years ago. Is this the first of more William Lee Golden songs with the family, or is this just a one-off?
No, this is we have this one. We actually did we recorded and videoed our entire recording sessions.
Wow.
All 34 songs were captured on videos with different cameras at different places in the studio, and 2 handheld cameras going to where the producer Jeff Panzer would send them to. He was producing and directing it from L.A. in his office.
Oh, wow.
With an iPhone on top of the camera and calling the shots from L.A. It's amazing how technology, and he had a wall of TVs there for each camera, so he could see what each camera's doing, But yeah, and Elijah, he's been at Brown University for 4 years on a scholarship, and he just graduated here last month, and so we're happy to have him home. This song helps to celebrate him, being out of college now, because we've held this in the can for over 3 years, and waiting on now for him to graduate to actually release it. So we did the video 3 years ago here. It was outside of the studio, so we added that to the. But we've done like 21 videos through with the family.
Yeah.
And we've released 10 of them on. We have a compilation of one of these flash drives, that's got all 34 songs on it plus 10 videos. It's amazing what they can all put on a small little item.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's what we've got. And then I'm also recording with the Oak Ridge Boys. So it's, and I'm heading out, Thursday, we're headed to California for 10 days with the Oak Ridge Boys. And because we've got a brand new video out too that I get to sing on, and it's called the Oak Ridge Boys Come On Home. It also features our young singer, Ben James, as our new tenor singer.
Mm.
And he's 28 years old. I got grandkids older than Ben James.
Yeah.
But he's doing an incredible job, and we've got that brand new video and single with the Oak Ridge Boys, Come On Home. But back to why we're here today is to celebrate a great job that Elijah has done with the family and continues to do.
Yeah, and this song will be out on July 9th, a date that also holds special meaning to the family and the Oaks, too.
It's kind of paying homage to Joe Bonsall. We lost Joe. July the 9th was a year ago. And we lost Rusty a year ago today.
Yeah.
So it was... Last year was a sad year for the Oak Ridge Boys. We went through a lot of losses. Dwayne lost his beautiful wife of 54 years, and then we lost Rusty and then Joe Bonsall, and it was kind of like a boom, 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 back to back there. But we found healing in music and healing in singing and getting together and harmonizing together as a group. And even with the family, man, it's after all that we've been through, it's getting back together and singing, and music lifts us up out of that valley of sadness. And it puts us on a brighter, more beautiful plane in life, is being around music and being able to participate and sing and harmonize together.
Yeah, the last time we talked to you, we were talking about your first solo write. After 80 plus years, you finally have a solo write. Has that inspired you to do more solo writing with the family and maybe do some original recordings with William Lee and the Goldens?
Well, my family is probably, I know Rusty was a great songwriter. He was won Songwriter of the Year and had a lot of #1 gospel songs that he wrote. My mother was a poet, so he kind of took a lot of that after her, wanting to write down his feelings with melodies and things. But I don't know, man. I guess I have to be in a mood and inspiring to do that. I know what I was going through the weekend that I actually wrote. I Got My Heart on You. It's a song that I wrote that my youngest son, Solomon, who's in medical school now in Texas, in Austin. But some of his words that he used to say when he was 5 and 6, he would call and leave these messages on my phone if I didn't get to answer it. He said, "Hey, Dad, this is Solomon. I got my heart on you." And so that was touching to me, and I kept those messages. But then here about 3 years ago, I guess, is when I started pouring out my feelings one weekend when I was here lonely and thinking about a lot of that, missing him, being away and moved away and all of that. And as a father, you know, that's always tears at your heart. But it was during that weekend that I poured my feelings into trying to, through melodies and words, trying to get something out of me that I could share for him to let him know just how special all of our times together when he was young had meant to me.
Yeah. Elijah, is that something you would like to explore, original songwriting with the family? And have you?
Of course. I've actually got about 4 originals recorded toward a solo project. Kind of a debut album. It's about half covers and half originals, somewhere in there. And we've got a video that my dad and I recorded together out on Gallatin Square for a James Carr song called "Dark Into the Street."
Awesome.
It's a classic song, standard. And yeah, I've found a lot of joy in songwriting, and I found a lot of avenues for expression through songwriting. I was a part of a songwriting workshop at Brown called the BAI Songwriting Workshop, and every week you'd go in. Some weeks you'd co-write. One of my favorite songs I've ever written was written in about 30 minutes in a hallway with a co-write. And I think songwriting specifically has an opportunity to bring different people, experiences, voices, memories together. And I think that the songs are big enough to hold all that, to hold the memory, to hold the experience, hold personality. And when 2 or more are gathered, that can take a lot of different directions. It can take a lot of different forms. And it's really an exciting mode of expression to explore.
Yeah. William, talk a little about so you're working with your grandkids, they're young, you're working with Ben James, who's very young. Do you feel like you're setting up these folks with all this knowledge that's in your head so you can leave it to somebody when all this comes to an end, hopefully many years from now?
Well, Dan, they make me forget how old I am. That's what happens. And so I enjoy being around these younger people because we talk about things rather than our ailments.
We kind of talk about that. The beard has been a part of your life now for 45 years. Which one of the family members do you think would have the biggest chance of growing out the beard and keeping that tradition alive? Who is it?
I have a son that's next door over here. His name is Craig Golden. He recorded the song on this project too. But he's got a long beard. He drives these tour buses. He's out right now with Kid Rock on Nickelback on the big
Rock the Country or something. Yeah.
Rock in the Country. And it's a 2-day festival they do. But Craig is driving Nickelback. They fly in, but he picks them up if they're tarmac and pulls out there where they're at. And anyhow, he's loving that right now. But he sang a song on this family project. Growing up, he was one of the best singers of the family, but yet he was too shy to do it because his two brothers were so talented. Chris and Rusty, they can play all these instruments and great singers and songwriters, and he felt timid and shy about pushing himself out there, but he always had the voice. So I talked him into doing a song with the family when we were cut 34 songs. He sang a song on the country rock album. It's called Multicolored Lady. It's a Greg Allman song. But he did an incredible job, one of the best songs on the album. But it's the songs that my kids and grandkids just made that third album.
We talk about all the stuff you did during these past 5-6 years, big into painting, big into photography, all these arts. We've got the autobiography. Is there ever going to be a book from William Lee Golden that showcases the photography and painting side of your life?
Well, see these photos here of the Grand Canyon in this room?
Yeah.
I took those photos. And
wow.
Anyhow, I have a brand new book of my photography coming out here. It's the same people that did my autobiography, Scott England, England Quest. Scott is he was a TV producer and a host and director when I met him up in Illinois. But and we would see him occasionally, he and his family. But he's moved to Nashville to be in television, moved here with RFTV. But he helped me write my autobiography. He interviewed me for all the things and got me talking about stuff. And I talked about things that I hadn't intended to talk about because I let him ask other people questions. And he talked to 2 of my wives. And my first wife, Elijah's grandmother, she got into some stories about my unfaithfulness or trying to love 2 women and that I was not going to get into, but yet she did. And
you moved past that part of life many, many years ago.
So.
Yeah. So the video for Elvira will be out there on July 9th. We've already had the song for a little bit, but now they get to put a face with these voices. Are there other videos you guys have been holding on to that we haven't seen yet?
I think we got about 3 or 4 more that we haven't released yet. Yeah, so they'll be dropping at different times throughout the next year, throughout this year maybe.
And during that time, you may get back in the studio and do some whole other videos, right?
Yeah, so I'm out with the Oak Ridge Boys a lot right now, We're doing about 75 dates this year, and we'll be touring next year. So we're having an extended farewell, but it's we're not wanting to quit. We're actually, these young guys, God works in mysterious ways. So it's amazing what energy and what a positive feeling that young singers can bring into a situation, after a grueling loss like we went through.
Yeah. Years from now, when all this is over and there's some young kid watching this video on YouTube or whatever it's called at that time, 50 years from now, What do you want people, fans and friends and family to remember the legacy of William Lee Golden as?
Well, I'm basically a harmony singer, and I've always loved harmonies. I never tried to, I sing lead on songs here and there. With the Oaks, I sang Thank God for Kids. I sang Trying to Love Two Women's Like a Ball and Chain. I wish you could have turned my head and left my heart alone, but on and on. There's the real country type songs I could do because I'm country. I grew up on a farm. Yeah, well, and that's what I'm about, man. I'm about harmony singing, and it's people needs to harmonize and live in harmony as well as sing in harmony.